There's obviously a lot of tension that exists between Paul Armstrong, the character you play in Just Cause, and the one played by Lawrence Fishburne, Tanny Brown. If tensions exist between characters on camera, should they exist off camera at least a little bit?
Well,
if even in a fun way, maybe.
No, I don't think so, because, in fact, it's not a good example, because I had a very good relationship with Fish, and usually I've never remember having any bad problems, professional problems with actors. So, and I'm not a firm believer that you take that, whatever your character is in a scene, and take it out and find difficulty in, finding your dressing room because you're disorientated. And I mean, if I'm just finished a take and it's cut and it's a print, and if I'm having a drink, I will find it right away, or my dressing room. And but there are different horses for different courses. Other actors work differently, and but Fish is very much like a European actor, I find.
Mm-hmm.
Not really so
different.
different. Yeah, it's very, very good, and very menacing, and very quiet, and lots of variance. And also a very good quality is the danger that he can give you the message without, pulling the gun and doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, he can give a look that makes you take pause.
Yeah, he's good, yeah.
A few months ago, I want to ask you this before I forget it. A few months ago, Christopher Reeve told me that he had called you and asked for advice on how to avoid being typecast.
After
He
Superman.
never said what the advice was. Do you recall what that was?
Oh, I know exactly what it was. I said, get a good lawyer. That's the first thing. Yeah, because what happened was he said he was just going to, he decided to do Superman, and they would want him to be signing to do, I think, three more or four more or something.
Mm-hmm.
And due to what experience I had, what should I do? He said, and I said, well, very simply, get a very good lawyer in the middle before you even start, so that your position's clarified and you're protected on all points of the compass.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume he did it.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take, did the length of time that it took for the Bond image to break for you, did that disappoint you? Did it take too long? Was it not soon enough?
Well, it's very difficult to say. It's like, the problem with it was it's like a catch-22 situation, that the longer one continued doing them, the less chance you had of being able to break any kind of real association with it, because no film you would make could compete with that sort of response, because once you'd made 2 films, that meant the odds were 2 to 1 on the film you're going to make. And then once you got into 3 or 4, no matter how good a film, like a film like The Hill, or it just didn't measure up in terms of public appreciation, And it was more kind of frustration than anything else, because I could see how limiting it was going to be for me.
Yeah. As conglomerates and these huge corporations continue to make movies headed by people who may not know that much about the filmmaking business, do you still see some creative bookkeeping happening as we proceed into the 90s?
Well, I think it'll always continue. What's happened now, of course, is that the costs are so astronomical for any film that it's difficult enough collecting the film to be able to steal from them. To get all the money. But I think they may have improved, actually. But I should think that there's still ways to do it better.
Mm-hmm. You have such a wonderful image. It's always a pleasure for us to talk to you, because you're such a class act. And I saw something a few weeks ago, I'm not going to mention the actor, but they walk in with all these bodyguards, and it's like they don't want the attention, but yet they're attracting attention.
Yeah.
What is your general opinion of that behavior?
Well, I don't. It's again, it's horses for courses, and I do not care for that, because I'm much too secretive anyway myself, and I like to be able to go where I want to go. I'm very aware I'm in the public's place wherever I go, and if I go to boxing matches, I go to football matches. I have never had any real problems. I go to pubs wherever I am. I walk the streets, and I think in general people are much more respectful than one would care to give them credit for. But then I know that I'm in a public place and they're perfectly entitled to treat me as the public, but I must say it's very fair. When I'm in a private place, well, it's different. If I'm in a private club or having a private dinner or something, then I expect them to be much more respectful, but not in the public place itself.
Very good. Mr. Connery, it's always